All right. So we got a squeeze segment. This was unplanned, but I want to talk about this, and then we'll wrap up the show. The Detroit Lions have 5 games left, and we're talking about would you want them to lose before the playoffs? Obviously, because you get to the playoffs, it's over. Lions have 5 games left. I think they drop one of the next 2. If they don't, fine. If they do, it needs to be the Buffalo Bills game. All right. Now, nobody cares. I don't care about it's going to annoy me what the social media and the talking heads are going to say. But we're trying to win the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about us losing to the Bills, and we're not the same. We know who we are. But the question that I have for you is this. This is how I think it's going to go. Lions are going to lose one of the next 2 games. That's going to put them at 12-2 heading into the Chicago Bear game. We go to Chicago. I think we're going to win that game. I think that I know we're going to win in San Francisco. We owe them for last year, and they're trash this year. We are going to, if their playoff hopes are still on the line, we're going to end them right there. Now, here's what I want to know. Let's say, I don't know if this is the case because the Minnesota Vikings are cruising, and they're going to be 3 teams from the North that make the playoffs. But let me see. What is the Minnesota Vikings are 10-2, right? They're 10-2. So that means the worst they could be would be 10-7. What if the Minnesota Vikings need to beat us to somehow make the playoffs? And here's where I'm going with this. Vikings need to beat us to make the playoffs, all right? And we've already got the first seed locked up. Are you going to be petty? And would you want the starters to play? Or would you want them to rest? Now, keep in mind, Minnesota wins, they're in the playoffs. They lose, they're out. But we risk injury to our starters. I'm not going to answer this question. I want you to answer it and tell me what you would do. Now, let's look at the likelihood of the Minnesota Vikings losing out. Or at least they don't have to lose out necessarily. All right, let's see who they got. Who do they have? Because I think they're one of the biggest fraud teams walking around today. All right, so we are going to week 14. Now, this game here is huge. Oh, nope. We got to use it. Hold on. We got to do it right. That's my syndicate transition. Nope. This is the channel that we're on. All right. Hi. Hello there. Here we go. Finally. So the Atlanta Falcons, they play this week. The Falcons desperately need this win. This is Kirk Cousins' return to the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to win this game. I think Kirk is going to show out. I think he's going to get it. We saw what Jerry Jeudy did Monday night. I think Kirk gets this win. All right, so now Chicago Bears. This is a division game. This is a division game. It's at home. You never know. You never know. Seattle, this is also a game that they could lose. And then the Green Bay Packers. So, I mean, are they going to drop 5 in a row? No, not necessarily. Well, 4 in a row before they play us. So they can lose all 4 of these games. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. They can lose all 4 of these games. So now the Minnesota Vikings are now 10-6. They're 10-6. No, they're 10-2 right now. So they would have to be 10-6. 10-6. They play us. Now here's the question. Let me fade myself real quick. I want to know what a 10-6 would get them right now. Minnesota could be out the playoffs. They could be out the playoffs because the Washington Commanders right now are 8-5, and they have the 7th seed right now. So they could be out the playoffs if they dropped 5 in a row. Now, here's the crazy part. You might be like, well, Derek, there's no way that happens, blah, blah, blah. You could be right, but here's the thing. Did you know that the last time the Minnesota Vikings started 5-0, they went 8-8 and they missed the playoffs? They would have to have a massive collapse down the stretch to not have that happen. But I see it being possible. And they might not even need to lose all 5. They might need to just drop 3 You know what I'm saying? So the question I have for you, if the Lions needed to play, they needed to beat the Minnesota Vikings to get in the playoffs, would you risk playing the starters or would you sit them? Let me know. I'm not going to give you my answer. I want to hear yours.